Do you know who you are outside of your role as an athlete? All too often, when I ask my clients this question, they don't know. They don't know who they are, what their value is, or sense of self is beyond them being an athlete. And this happens to far too many athletes, and ultimately can end up creating a lot of the obstacles that actually get in your way to becoming a great athlete, or to being able to really explore your potential as an athlete. And that's what we're going to cover in today's video. When your value and sense of self becomes disproportionately based off of one singular thing, in this instance, your role as an athlete, your outcomes, your successes, it's what is known as overinvestment. And so too much of, as I said, your value, how you feel, comes down to how you performed in your sports. And this can ultimately lead to a lot of the issues that are now going to get in your way to really exploring your potential and to getting the outcomes that you're looking for. It creates sometimes an enormous amount of pressure, feeling like you have to be perfect, avoiding mistakes, fearing failure. And all of these things can then end up hurting you from really being the athlete that you can be and that you need to be in order to get the results or outcomes that you're looking for. So some signs that may indicate if you have kind of gotten into this place of being a little bit over-invested in this one singular aspect of your life, your identity, is one, are your emotions kind of excessive for this situation, disproportionate to what's actually going on? So do you have an excessive amount of nervousness before competitions? Do you maybe get excessively angry after a disappointing performance? Or do you get excessively angry at a ref or an umpire's call that you didn't like, or kind of maybe you felt impacted your ability to do well in that moment? Have you put unrealistic expectations on yourself? Are you getting preoccupied with results and really forgetting about the process and needing certain results to be there to feel good about your performance, to feel fulfilled and like you did something in that performance, you did something well, to always need to have those results in order to feel good about your performance? And so it's really, really important to explore who you are outside of your role as an athlete, to know that you are not defined by your performance, that you are not just an athlete, that what you do in your athletic endeavor does not define who you are or your worth as a person. And this is ultimately going to help you to free yourself to really be able to go out there and perform in the manner that's going to help you, as I said, explore the edges of your potential, of your capacity to really be able to go out there and to thrive, to have fun, to, really enjoy what you are doing and to enjoy that process, and to allow those results to come, but not to need those results to come. So how you explore who you are outside of your role as an athlete is really going to be looked at in depth in a future video, but to just give you a little bit of an outline and overview, or there's different ways you can do this. And I've kind of brought it down to 3 kind of ways or practices or things that you can explore to kind of help you. But by no means is it the end all be all. It's really just trying to understand that there's other things out there about you, and to discover things about you, and to just not be defined by this one singular thing, that everything that you do is a role that you are stepping into, and it's something you're doing, and it's something you're doing for a period of time, but at some point you are going to step out of that role. And even on a day-to-day basis, you do step out of that role when you're no longer performing or practicing or anything like that. But some ways that you can start to explore and expand your view of yourself, and really, as I said, get into this practice of getting to know yourself and getting to know yourself beyond your role as an athlete, is one, explore different activities that interest you. Different, could be music, could be painting, just different things that, are out there that you can do besides this one thing. Number 2 is really understanding that through your endeavor as an athlete, you are developing yourself as a person, right? And to really kind of look at and dig into what are you developing from a kind of characteristic standpoint. Is it hard work? Is it teamwork? Some of these things that go well beyond what you're going to do as an athlete, to really kind of think about how are you using this time to really develop yourself and explore who you are and what you want to be as a person, what values you have. And then number 3 is kind of to understand what I mentioned earlier, is that there's nothing that you do that really defines you, right? You're always stepping into a role based off of the things that you are doing. And even your characteristics, there's more to you beyond the characteristics you have. Those are things that you can develop. And so when we really look at, who we are, it really goes beyond this. And this is what is known as really trying to start to explore that part of yourself that observes many of the aspects of you, such as your self-talk. And as I mentioned, that's going to be explored a little bit further in a future video. So just start to play around with and explore, who are you beyond this role as an athlete, and it will ultimately help you to be a better athlete.